because we can get so discouraged and like the thoughts can get so dark to almost wanting to like, I've had literal suicidal ideation because things have gotten so painful. I'm like, I can't make sense of the pain. And when you can't make sense of the pain, that's when it's like, what's the point of living if it's so hard? Nothing feels worth it. I'm giving everything I have to give and I still feel like God's not with me. And it's like to feel like God's far away when all you want is good things for other people, it's like, then you're like, okay, I must not be worth living. You know what I mean? I've literally got to that place.
There are moments in life where fame, money, success, none of it can rescue you from what's happening inside your own mind. And this is exactly where Justin Bieber found himself. In one of the darkest seasons of his life. For years, people saw the smile, the music, the lifestyle. But behind all of that, Justin was fighting a quiet battle that almost destroyed him. In a rare and emotional confession, Justin admitted that some nights, the pain became so overwhelming that he didn't even understand why he was still here. He said the thoughts became so heavy, so dark, that he started having real suicidal ideation. Not just sadness, not just stress, but reaching a point of thinking, if life hurts this much, what's the point of living anymore? Hearing Justin say those words shook fans around the world, because nobody ever imagined someone who has everything could be carrying pain this deep. He said he was giving all he had, trying to do good, trying to love people, trying to make things right, yet feeling like God wasn't even close to him, feeling abandoned, feeling invisible, feeling worthless. And when someone reaches that place, a place where they believe they aren't worth living, that's not just heartbreak, that's trauma. Justin opened up about crying out, begging for clarity, begging for purpose, begging for something, to make the pain make sense. And think about it. This is someone who's been famous since he was a child. Someone who never got a normal life. Someone who carried expectations bigger than what most adults could handle. The pressure, the criticism, the mistakes publicly exposed. All of it built up into a weight that crushed him from the inside. But the scariest part of Justin's confession wasn't that he was hurting, it's that he felt alone in his hurting, like he was screaming underwater, while the world kept cheering, laughing, judging, and scrolling. That kind of pain doesn't come from one moment. It comes from years of emotional exhaustion, years of trying to be strong, years of pretending everything was fine. And this moment, this confession, was the first time fans finally understood. Justin wasn't fighting fame, he was fighting himself. Justin Bieber has opened up before about the deepest and darkest moments of his life. But recently, one particular clip has resurfaced, and it's shaking the entire internet again. In this moment, Justin speaks about pain in a way that many fans have never heard from him. A moment where he admits that fame, pressure, and emotional chaos almost pushed him beyond what he could handle. He says that sometimes the weight becomes so heavy that it feels impossible to make sense of it. That feeling when you're giving everything, your heart, your energy, your effort, yet nothing seems to work out. And for him, that feeling didn't just hurt. It scared him. Because when someone like Justin Bieber, a global superstar with millions of fans, admits that he felt completely alone, the world stops. You start to realize how human he really is. But here's what makes this clip even more heartbreaking. Justin wasn't speaking from weakness. He was speaking from honesty. He described a moment where he felt like God was far away, a moment where he felt abandoned by everything he believed in. And that hit fans hard, because so many people have felt that way too, lost, confused, wondering why things hurt so much, even when your intentions are good. This is where fans begin to debate. Where was Hailey during this? Where was Selena? Who supported him through these silent battles? Because behind the scenes, Justin was fighting demons that no fame, no relationship, no money could fix. Pain that doesn't disappear, just because millions of people scream your name. And yet, this clip also reveals something powerful. Justin didn't stay in that darkness. He climbed out of it. He found help. He found support. And he learned how to speak openly about the emotional storms he once tried to hide. That is why fans respect him so deeply today. Because vulnerability doesn't make you weak. It makes you real. This moment changed how people see him, not as Justin Bieber, the superstar, but as Justin, a human being trying to heal, trying to grow, trying to understand his purpose. And whether you're Team Selena, Team Hailey, or simply Team Justin, everyone agrees on one thing. This honesty might be the most powerful thing he has ever shared with the world. But what people don't understand is this. Behind the fame, behind the lights, behind the millions of followers, Justin Bieber is still a human being fighting battles nobody sees. And when he opened up about those dark thoughts, when he admitted he once felt like life had no meaning, it shook the whole internet. Because it wasn't just a celebrity moment. It was a cry from someone who's been carrying pressure since he was a kid. Justin said there were days where he felt like God wasn't even close to him. Days where the pain didn't make sense. Days where he was giving everything, the music, the effort, the love, and still felt empty. And for the first time, fans realized something. Justin wasn't fighting his career. He was fighting his mind. And this is where everything changed. Because during this time, his relationships were being pulled in every direction. The public kept comparing Selena and Hailey. The media kept dragging his name into drama. And Justin was caught in the middle of two worlds, the world people wanted for him, and the world he was trying to build for himself. The pressure wasn't normal. The expectations weren't normal. And the hate he received wasn't normal either. But instead of letting the darkness take him, Justin made a decision, a quiet decision, that most people don't notice. He chose healing. He chose therapy. He chose honesty. And he chose to face the pain he had been running from for years. And that's when fans started noticing a shift. His voice started cracking differently in interviews. His words became deeper. His eyes looked more tired, but also more real. And suddenly, all the small moments, the emotional pauses, the heavy breaths, the long silences, they all made sense. Justin wasn't weak. He was rebuilding. And here's the part that shocked the internet the most. Even though he was surrounded by millions, he still felt alone. He still felt misunderstood. And that loneliness is what pushed him to speak out. Not for attention, but for survival. Because sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is admit they're hurting. And whether you're a Selena fan, or a Hailey fan, or a Justin fan, one thing became clear. This wasn't about drama anymore. It was about a man trying to find peace in a world that refuses to let him rest. Justin Bieber has always been honest about his darkest moments. But very few people truly understand how close he came to completely breaking down. And this exact moment in his life didn't just change him. It changed everything connected to him. Selena, Hailey, the fans, the industry, everyone watching from the outside. Because behind the fame, behind the lights, behind the name Justin Bieber, there was a human being who was quietly terrified of his own mind. He admitted that the pressure became so overwhelming that he questioned whether life was even worth living. And when someone reaches that level of pain, it stops being entertainment. It becomes survival. Imagine giving your whole heart every single day to the world, and still feeling like you aren't enough. Imagine millions of people screaming your name, but on the inside, you can't even hear your own voice. That's exactly where Justin found himself. It didn't matter if people blamed Selena's history, or Hailey's presence, or the chaos of the internet. All that noise blended into a heavy silence where nothing made sense anymore. Justin wasn't fighting fans. He wasn't fighting the media. He wasn't fighting old relationships. He was fighting himself. And people don't talk about that part. They only see the headlines, the drama, the comparisons. But when Justin said he felt like God wasn't listening, when he admitted he felt too broken to keep going, that was a level of honesty most celebrities never dare to show. It was rare. It was real. And it explains so much about everything that came after. The breaks from music, the emotional distance, the sudden shifts in his personality, the way he tried to hold on to relationships while drowning inside. From that moment on, everything in his world changed. Fans were arguing. The internet was comparing him to his old self, to his past with Selena, to his marriage with Hailey, to expectations he could never live up to again. But Justin wasn't trying to prove anything anymore. He was just trying to breathe. Because healing isn't pretty. Healing doesn't always look strong. Sometimes healing looks like disappearing. Sometimes healing looks like crying through the night. Sometimes healing looks like starting over even when the whole world refuses to forget your past. From that point forward, Justin wasn't fighting to be a superstar anymore. He was fighting to be human again, and that fight is still happening. And maybe that's the part the world needs to understand. Justin isn't the 16-year-old kid the industry created. He's a grown man trying to rebuild himself piece by piece, no matter how many people try to drag him back into drama he never asked for. So whether you support him because of his past with Selena, or you support him because of his life now with Hailey, or you support him simply because he's human,